I don't know if I came full circle. I don't even know if I landed this plane. Hey y'all, it's Lindsay, and today is Wellness Wednesday, week 10. As I typically start out these Wellness Wednesdays, let's talk about the scale. Last week I started at 145.8, and today I weighed in at 145.8. So I stayed the exact same, which I guess is a blessing in and of itself, but I'm still technically up from my lowest by 2.2 pounds. My pre-pregnancy weight was 143.6, and I did reach that a couple of weeks back, but I gained some weight after we left, after we went on our Texas trip, and I'm still working on getting that off. Now, this week has been a little bit stressful, and there have been a few reasons why I think I have maintained instead of actually losing. The first one is stress. We've been working on sleep training Lauren. I'm not a big fan of Cry It Out. I'm not a big fan of Baby Wise. Like everybody, and those work really well for some people, but it is not how sleeping works in our family. So we've been working on some various techniques to help Lauren stay asleep longer. And so that's been a little bit stressful. And whenever I'm stressed out, I turn to food, which brings me to my second point. I've had entirely too many Heavy S snacks and Heavy S meals. I am a sucker for a bowl full of pepper jack cheese cubes, slimmer sausage slices, and a handful of almonds or walnuts. As a snack, as a snacky lunch, that I love. I love, love, love it. Okay. But that does not make for a complete, well-balanced diet, which is typically helpful when it comes to healthfulness. So a lot of Heavy S's. I made these pseudo Twix bars from, I kind of pulled together various pieces of a couple of different recipes and just kind of smashed them all together as like a Twix pseudo bar kind of a thing. And if you saw my Instagram stories, my Insta stories, then you might have seen them. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'd love to have you over there. Sometimes I post. Anyway, so these pseudo Twix bars, they are a Heavy S. They were so delicious, and it was really, really difficult for me not to eat the entire pan in a matter of hours. And that's a problem. Also, I've noticed that my under eye circles have been significantly darker and more pronounced. And I got to wondering why. So I obviously went to the Google machine and researched what mineral deficiency causes darker under eyes. And it's a lack of vitamin K, which are your dark green leafy vegetables, and a lack of vitamin B12, which comes from things like eggs and meats and dairy. And I got the dairy thing down, and I've got cured meats down, but for some reason this week I was not eating a ton of varied protein sources, and I wasn't eating very many eggs, and I love eggs, yet I was avoiding them altogether, which is just not normal. Also, I have been eating some vegetables, and we've been making up our little vegetable tray in our refrigerator full of our baby carrots and celery sticks and all of our colorful bell peppers sliced up. And that's awesome. And I would just usually pull that out with every meal, and that's perfect. But I was using all of those vegetables instead of eating a salad as well, or sauteing up some spinach or some kale or what have you to have with those eggs. Honestly, like sauteed kale and fried eggs, it's a pretty rockin' meal, and yet I totally have been avoiding it for some reason. I don't know. It's like it just didn't sound good to me. So the Heavy S's, the vitamins and minerals, I've been kind of depleting myself from those here lately. And I've also noticed that I have been drinking less water and more coffee because I'm stressed. And I like that mouthfeel of coffee versus the water. And I feel like I am repeating myself from last week. And about Sunday, I decided, you know what? I need to get my rear in gear about drinking all of the water again. And I had gotten down to probably only about 60 ounces of water a day. And I typically drink almost a gallon a day, especially with nursing. And I know a lot of people think that's an insane amount of water, but I am nursing a 5-month-old, and we do live in the North Woods of Wisconsin where it's pretty dry, and so your body just constantly feels dry. And so my skin has looked much drier, and I tend to have a lot more blemishes pop up whenever I am not drinking water well. And I like all of this texture on my skin has a lot to do with the lack of water. Um, so yeah, I need to get that back on. And I also recognize the fact that I have been off of my normal vitamins and supplements since before we left for Texas. So mid-February probably. And I use the Garden of Life raw prenatal vitamins, and I used those all through my pregnancy with Lauren, and I've just kept them up because I think they're a really good vitamin, and I really like that the way that they impact my body. So I fell off using those, and I don't know why, because it's not like I ran out of them and just didn't remember to buy more. They've been like there. We've got the supply. I just need to take them. So, and I also take a magnesium supplement. So I, on Sunday, decided to recommit myself to taking my vitamins and supplements and eating green leafy salads, drinking more water, like all of those baseline healthy acts and healthy routines that most people would say, oh yeah, that's supposed to be second nature at this point. Like if you've been doing this a while, that is totally second nature. No, I fell off. And I haven't had a whole lot of balance in my life, in my diet, in my choices. You know, like I'm always choosing heavy S's. There's no balance when you choose only heavy S's. And I feel like that's where and there's no balance whenever you don't drink enough water, and and you only drink coffee or only drink like the minimum amount of water that your body probably needs. There's no balance in that. There's no balance in choosing, I don't know, choosing some chicken over summer sausage once out of like 7 times. Yeah, I tend to have an extremist personality, and it's all or nothing. And I really need to practice the skill of moderation and balance. The Twix bars that I had made, those pseudo Twix bars, man, it was so impossible for me to stop eating them. Like I could have one and then I'd say, okay, I can have one more. And I would eat 2. And then I would say, I'd better put these away because these are not just for me. Jared enjoyed them too. So I want to have some for him, and I'll keep them in the freezer. And they're the best from the freezer. Like straight out of the freezer, you just like take a bite into it. You won't crack your teeth on it. It's just perfection out of the freezer. So I was like, dang it, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to actually individually wrap these or something, because having them accessible in the freezer and being able to just go straight from freezer to face, that's a problem. I don't have the moderation skill well developed in myself to be able to resist that. So I feel like I've kind of gone a little bit rambly here, and I'm not sure where I'm going with this, other than this coming week, myself and my family, I'm going to practice more balance. We're going to make sure that for every cup of coffee I drink, I'm drinking my entire 30-ounce Yeti full of water. And if I want another cup of coffee, I need to balance that with yet another tumbler of water. So the balance there, keeping up with my vitamins and minerals my supplements, balancing my meals, making sure that like 70% of my plate is filled with salad and the other 30% is filled with something like my protein and my fuel source. And what else? Gosh, just relaxing about it all. Like the sleep training thing, it's hard. It's getting so much better with each passing day, but it's still really hard. So just practicing some self-care to not stress out about it. I think that'll be helpful. I don't know if I came full circle. I don't even know if I landed this plane, but we're going to call it quits right there. How have you done this week? Have you experienced a lack of balance? Also, do you have an extremist personality, or are you more even-keeled? That is something that I'm curious about. So answer that question primarily. Like if you wanted to respond in the comments, I would love that. And answer me whether you have an extremist personality or if you're very even-keeled. That's what I'd like to know this week. Yes. Also, thank you so much to all of my subscribers. If you are new, I've got a whole slew of videos for you to check out. I follow THM Healthy Mama. I'm a homeschooling mama. I have 3 girls and my husband travels. That's about us in a nutshell. And so go check out some of our other stuff. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would check out my channel and see if it's something that can add value to your life. Yeah, so I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.